right, what is going on, guys? It is Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. Today, we're going to talk about some very interesting things that just happened, and if you watched last night's episode, this is probably not too much of a surprise to you. We actually talked about this last night on how just about a week ago, DJI actually changed their entire operating system and dropped no-fly zones from all of their drones. So the millions of drones around the country can now essentially fly anywhere they want. Now, you'll get in trouble for flying anywhere you want with your drone, including over military bases or over the Capitol or over wherever, but DJI is not the one stopping you from doing that. Now, that's really, really unnerving considering how those DJI drones are used all around the world right now. You've probably seen them more than once, probably more than 1,000 times online in conflicts and wars around the country and around the world, right? So these things can be strapped to explosives and they can be used for extremely bad harm. As far as that happened as far as the same week that we're all talking about Tik Tok, which we'll mention here in a second, which looks like it's holding up. It's basically a big FU to China. At the same time, it's going to be very, very, very cold on this day that the inauguration is going, and we actually talked about Reagan and JFK, the two presidents that also had extremely close calls, or they just never came back again after their presidency. And they also moved their inauguration inside. It was the two last times that it was this cold. So is that a bad omen? Is that like some sort of curse? I don't know. But they have moved it inside. This was, as of last night, we were saying, you know, if they were smart, like how does the White House not know about this? If people like us know about this, why doesn't the White House know to move this thing inside if all of these drones could be turned into, you know, something bad? Within 24 hours, that's exactly what has happened. The President, Don, has ordered Monday's inauguration to be moved indoors. Now, I think it was a smart idea just because of the cold weather, and probably people don't want to be sitting outside. But either way, I think that thousands of people that were trying to attend are probably going to do so anyways. In a post to Truth Social, Trump said that the weather forecast, including the wind chill factor, could take temperatures into the severe record lows. There is an Arctic blast sweeping the country. I don't want to see people hurt or injured in any way. And it's kind of crazy that he used it in those words. I don't want to see people hurt or injured in any way. Trump's post continued, adding, therefore, I have ordered the inauguration address, in addition to prayers and other speeches, to be delivered in the United States Capitol Rotunda, as it was used by Ronald Reagan in 1985, which is absolutely crazy because we literally just talked about that. Of course, it may be the weather or maybe something else. As Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene opined on X, I have personally attended countless rallies where President Trump spoke about extreme weather conditions from cold rain to heat, adding, is there any security threat other than extreme cold temperatures? Well, no duh. And that's exactly what I think it is, and I think that something else is going on. They built a steel ring of metal around the actual White House at the same time. So when the two presidents leave, JB and the Don leave the White House, they're going to be taking a parade of limos. And Dex and I were just talking about this. We don't think they're going to be in the same one. And they're going to have, you know, however many limos go down into the Capitol. And during that time, they have this whole area basically cordoned off. They have it all fenced up. I mean, they are really going all out for this. So is there a threat we don't know about? I absolutely think so, and I think it's just a fact. So the fact that they moved this in is not a surprise to me. Is it just because of the cold temperature? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Now, speaking of cold temperature, if you've ever lost your power, then you probably know that it is really, really crappy, especially during the cold times. Highly recommend, if you don't have a solar generator, highly recommend going out with a grid down bug out. The bug out itself is an awesome unit. It has 1.61 kilowatt hours, but if you get the XP batteries, you can actually extend that. With just one XP batteries, you'll have over 4,000 kilowatt hours. This is an awesome system because it comes through the same people that also have connected it with EMP Shield. Now, EMP Shield is going to protect this against any kind of EMP attack, any kind of solar event, and any kind of lightning strike. So these are awesome units. They're built like tanks, and they are going to survive through any of the possible events that may happen. So go to marfooglenews.com/bugout. It is also lithium iron phosphate. It's the new battery technology. They last a whole lot longer. They have so many more charges on them compared to regular lithium ion. Again, and it just has almost everything you could ask for in a solar generator. Go to marfooglenews.com/bugout and make sure to use the code MARF. Not only will you get you a huge discount, but you will also support our independent news. We are on our own and against behemoths in media. So thank you guys for doing so. All right, let's bring in my co-internet brother, Dex James. What is going on and how are you doing today?
Well, hello, Adam, and hello, Fuggle fam. I'm doing just fine. It's funny that article didn't call out the dangerous conditions quote. It left that part out when it did it. But the other thing, right after you said in his quote about seeing people getting hurt or injured in any way, he goes on to call it dangerous conditions. So it's obvious that can be clearly used for weather events, but cold isn't always, especially when you're planning to be there. I mean, people go to football games when it's this cold, but you can plan for the cold. But I get it, I understand, but it's certainly a twist on words there for sure that could be applied to just about anything, especially given all the rhetoric going around about the possibility of something going down.
Yeah, and as far as the cold, yeah, it can cause its own set of factors to happen. And then when does he actually take office? Dex, why don't you take over on that?
Okay, so this is how it happens. So the inauguration day itself, he is second. He'll go after the vice president. But what will actually happen is he will go to the White House and will travel from the White House to the Capitol with the former or the existing president until they do the switchover. So they'll go together. I don't think they take the same car, to be honest. But anyway, once they get there, they will Vance will have been sworn in first, and then the Don will get sworn in. And as soon as that's done, JB exits and leaves. And then the next thing that happens is he will literally go to the Senate chamber room that's called the presidential room, and in there he will be able to immediately start signing documents and paperwork. So there will be obviously things that he wants that he's pre-prepped, so to speak, and those should all be signed immediately. And then it moves on to the rest of the pomp and circumstances with the luncheon and the other events that will be held throughout the rest of the day. But when you think about just the actual events, he should be it should be right at noon. 12 o'clock is the time that they have to do the event. So Vance will be before then, and then right at noon you'll see him. They're suggesting that there may be people in the outdoor area around the Capitol. I think the park had opened up tickets for 220,000, but the question is how many will be going. There's also a stadium that the Don had announced they were going to use as well, so an arena. So I don't know how many people are going to go over to the arena and what the process is for that. I know a lot of people have headed there. Even friends of mine have headed up to see this event.
Now, on a normal day, like when you see something like this set up and it's done just like this at the Capitol outside like this, how do people get seats at that? Is that a special event, and does everybody get checked? Like, how do they do that?
The Capitol seating, 220,000 tickets that were issued from the actual event itself were issued to the Congress people, the senators and congressmen, and then they distribute out their shares to their constituents, however they see fit.
So half of the Congress that hate him could have distributed it to whoever they wanted. Like, I guess, how do they do checks? Do they do background checks on everybody who's going to be sitting at these things? Say if it was a normal day and they were sitting out like this, how do they? I wonder how they do that security wise.
Well, I don't know if I think if you're in the very, very close sections, you're going to be clearance of some sort. The rest of the people are going to go through security checks, maybe not background checks, but definitely they'll go through some sort of security if they're within range of being able to reach them. There's also going to be a parade, I'm assuming. There's typically is the when they drive from the White House to the Capitol and back from the Capitol to the White House, there'll be those processions that may happen as well. Not really parades, but it's the caravan, so to speak.
Well, with over $200 million donated to the fund to do this event, included in that funds, yeah, I bet it's probably going to be a big thing. Hopefully, it will be a big, safe thing, because nobody wants to see this go south. I don't think anybody wants to have some sort of civil conflict set off because of some craziness. And then Supreme Court rules to uphold the TikTok ban, in setting the stage for U.S. users to lose access on Sunday. Now, I just have a weird feeling that somehow the Dawn is going to come in and undo this in some way. I don't know why. I don't think that TikTok is really going to go away. And if they do, I think that this is just far too crazy. I mean, everybody doubts the real reasons why it's being done. But we've also seen how TikTok has affected our culture. I mean, incredibly, it has infected our culture as far as the Chinese government has somewhat control over this thing, and many of us think it is controlling, yet it is not allowed in China. And then this thing is basically viral all over the United States. The things that get put at the very top in every single way are pushed to make the United States look bad, to make people hate the United States, or to change the people in the country to basically be divided and to fight with each other. It's incredible. Now, I know many of you are on TikTok and love the other positive sides of it, but there's a lot of negative that's hidden in there, and I think that people really don't realize that. But again, to do this, is this the right answer? Dex, go ahead.
Yeah, they also just announced, or TikTok just announced, that they will be going dark on Sunday. So with this announcement from the Supreme Court, so their plans are to go dark on Sunday, unless they're given some sort of definitive reassurance from the current administration, JB, that the ban will not be enforced. But if it's going to be enforced, they're shutting down on Sunday. That's their plan.
Wow. So, and enforced. And you would think that the Dawn would be the one that says to get rid of it. That says, hey, once it hits my office, this thing won't be in our country.
He did make a statement saying that we should stand by the Supreme Court's decision about it, but it didn't mean that he was going to change anything either. He didn't say one way or the other than just standing by the Supreme Court's decision.
Yeah, and the Supreme Court sided with the JB administration upholding and protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary-Controlled Applications Act, which President JB signed in April. So for all of those young people that love JB, he is absolutely, taking credit and saying, yep, this is this administration that ended TikTok. I personally agreed with that one. So I don't think that TikTok is a good thing in general. I think that the messaging, that how it picks its people, now you may think it's good, but your algorithm is also custom catered to you. Of course you're going to think it's good. If you're looking from the outside of what everybody is looking at their own phones, it's like a monster. That thing in their hand just latches on to people and holds on to them. It's quite scary. And then when you actually look at some of the technology that they're making as far as being able to actually hypnotize people with stuff like this, there is stuff that is happening right now in science that really scares you about what you could be watching, or the messages or the pictures going into your head. These kind of things can actually be used as a weapon. Many people believe this is a weapon, that ByteDance and the algorithm is literally a weapon. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Are you sad to see TikTok go? Every opinion matters. Again, leave it down below. And again, make sure to join us for our regular show tonight. We'll be on in just a few minutes. So if you are in the chat, you can stay here. You'll be ported over. But if you are watching the replay, all you have to do to find us is click right here. All right, you guys, we will see you in just a moment over on our sister channel, Marfoogle TV. Remember, you have a full bibliography over at marfooglenews.com. So if you want to get the source for anything you saw today, just go right there. You'll have everything at your fingertips.